Today we're going to follow the Butterfield down one of the most authentic stretches of road available to the public. We're heading south on Missouri Highway 37, about 2 miles south of Washburn, Missouri, heading for Farm Road 1050. I record my trips using the Gaia GPS app and overlay it on Google. Here you can see I've traveled the entire stretch from Washburn to the Pea Ridge National Military Park. It's about 10 miles. But Farm Road 1050 is only 4.4 miles long. Farm Road 1050 probably started as an Indian trail through what would become Cross Timber Hollows. In 1835, the road was incorporated into the Springfield to Fayetteville Road. By 1838, when the military used the road to escort Cherokee Indians on their trail of tears, it became known as the Military Road. And in 1860, after Butterfield started his overland mail, telegraph wire was run from Springfield to Fayetteville, and it became known as the Telegraph Road. You can see the road on this 1846 General Land Office map. I've superimposed the GLO map on Google and labeled the northern start point at the turnoff from Route 37 and the southern endpoint as Missouri Road DD. We're coming up on a suggested Harbin Station site. Kirby Sanders placed Harbin Station south of the railroad crossing where A.S. Harbin owned a house that burned in the 1940s. However, Harbin Station was owned by John G. Harbin, and his property was 3/4 of a mile to the north, where the Park Service visited in November 2024. The first mile or so heading south is across the level grasslands of southern Washburn Prairie. In 1861, 30-year-old Lyman Bennett enlisted in the Army and marched south from Springfield down this road into the Battle of Pea Ridge. Corporal Bennett was a surveyor and an artist, and he was soon drafted, no pun intended, into making maps for the Union Army. This was part of the infamous burn zone during the Civil War, and his map drawn in March 1862 shows the road and its houses before they were burned. His map will orient us to Cross Timber Hollow. This arrow shows where we are now, south of the turnoff and north of Camp Cross Timber. We're coming up on Camp Cross Timber, which is near the present Rock Springs Church. Camp Cross Timber was set up after the Battle of Pea Ridge, and the Union Army camped here for about a month. Thousands of troops were camped here, and wounded filled all the farmhouses along this road. Bennett annotated his maps with descriptions. For example, number 29 is Camp Cross Timber, March, April 5th, spring of pure water, hill country. We are nearing Cross Timber Hollow, and on his map, Bennett provided a legend for the name. In the flight of Ben McCulloch and Price from Springfield, trees were felled across the road in the narrow portions of the valley. The name Cross Timber arises from this circumstance and will probably remain for all time. We are now coming to the beginning of Cross Timber Hollow, and you'll notice that the road dips down significantly. You'll notice that the Bennett's map, shows the start of Cross Timber Hollow and also MPS Stop 3. And what that's about is that the Park Service, when they first came here, had to turn around because of the flooding. And where they, when they came back out, Stop 3 is where they stopped. I'm just going to continue showing the road for the next mile or so until we get to the dirt road. And here we are coming up on the second spot where the Park Service stopped when they were here in the fall. So I renumbered the stops in reverse order of the way we're traveling. So we're heading south, and eventually we'll get to the dirt road, and then where the Park Service had to turn around. And I numbered the stops coming back. So one would be the most southern, and then two, then three is the one up near where Cross Island began. So we're coming up on the end of the paved road, and we'll soon be on dirt road. Um, there's some markers along the way to indicate that we're about 1.88 miles, and from here on in, it's going to be really a trip back in time.